In CapCut Pad there are many useful features that are not easy to find, but they can make video editing much faster and easier. In this video I will show you 10 of my favorite features that I use myself so you can get the most out of CapCut Pad. And the first feature is the templates on the home screen. Because this tab is very small in size, many people don't even notice it, but behind it there is a huge number of templates for quick editing. What are they for? For example, you are just starting your journey in video editing, but you want to get a great result right away. You simply choose a template you like, insert your own photos or videos, add your own text, stickers and music, and get a cool video. Besides quickly getting content that you can immediately upload to social media, you can understand what this template looks like from the inside and understand the principles of editing. And if you already know how to edit, but you lack inspiration or simply don't have enough time, templates can help you determine the starting point for your edit and make the project much faster. What's very convenient is that we can filter the templates according to our needs. For example, we can find only vertical or only horizontal templates, choose the number of media files used in the template, and also select a specific duration. The next useful feature on the home screen is project synchronization. For example, you shot some footage on your phone somewhere during a trip. Right on your way home, you can start working on it in CapCut on your phone. When you get home, you can upload this project to CapCut Cloud, then open it in CapCut on your tablet or computer and continue working from exactly the same place. At the same time, the project itself is preserved with all of its editing elements. To upload a project to the cloud, click on the three dots, then select Space, choose the folder where you want to save it and click Upload. Then we can see the project being uploaded, and after that on another device, for example on a computer, we go to the cloud, open the same folder where we uploaded the project, download it, and then we can continue working on it. If your tablet is slowing down while you are working, it may be because of an excessive amount of cache. Go to the gear icon, click Settings, and here we can see how much space different cached media data is taking up. Delete it if it takes up a lot of space, or you can also enable automatic deletion after 30 days. Next, I want to show you a useful feature for those who create YouTube videos. In this same section, go to the Edit tab and under Target Loudness, select -14 LUFS. Then open any project that contains a speaker's voice and click on the audio track. Go to the audio section and turn on volume normalization. Now the entire speaker speech will be adjusted to the optimal volume for YouTube. Usually when I first add a video to the timeline, the first thing I do is normalize the volume for the entire video at once, so I don't have to do it for every individual clip later. Even though this is intended as the optimal volume for YouTube, I use it for all of my videos on social media and even for commercial projects. There is also something like an audio meter here. If we click it, volume levels will appear on the side, and if I play the video, we will see that they are within the green range, which shows that the volume is not exceeded. The next useful thing is the interface settings. My favorite option here is displaying the interface in vertical mode. In this case, we get a larger player window, which is very convenient for more precise work with the vertical footage. Here in the player we can also enable guides to understand where the interface elements are located on social media and properly position important objects in the frame. For example, I often see the other bloggers placing their subtitles over the video title. This is exactly what these guides are for. By the way, this feature is not available in the CapCut mobile app, but I have a solution, special frames that you can add as a separate layer when editing your videos. You can download them using the link below this video. And in these 3 lines, the most useful feature is saving a screenshot. Here we can set the name, choose the resolution and select the PNG or JPG format. I recommend saving it as PNG because it takes up less space while maintaining good image quality. We can also immediately add this screenshot to the project and use it in the edit. On the timeline, I often hide the left panel to get more space for media files. This is especially useful when editing vertical videos because the player takes up a lot of space on the right. To collapse and expand this panel, simply move the mouse over it and drag it to the left or right to expand it. I am often asked whether there are keyboard shortcuts in CapCut Pad. Yes, there are keyboard shortcuts here. To see them, go to Menu, Help, Shortcuts. Unfortunately, at the moment not all keyboard shortcuts work. The most useful shortcuts in my opinion are Copy and Paste, as well as copying attributes. For example, I often adjust the first clips of a video in terms of color, size and volume, apply a LUT, and then copy these attributes using the Command+Shift+C keyboard shortcut. Then I paste them into the next videos I need using Command+Shift+V. And the last feature we are going to talk about is AI photo and video generation. I haven't seen anything like this in other video editors for tablets, which is why I especially like CapCut. You may have already seen some of the AI generated videos in this review. It is great that even in the free version we can use this feature and practice working with AI tools. Everything here is made very simple, so even a beginner can understand how to quickly create photos and videos. And if you want to learn more about how to use it, watch this video where I show in detail what AI tools are capable of right now.